Hi, and welcome to the S.J. Childs Show. I'm your host, S.J. Childs. The S.J. Childs Show brings value to families through education, resources, and lots of laughs. You can find us at our social media pages, Facebook, S.J. Childs Show, Instagram, S.J. Childs Show, and our YouTube channel, The S.J. Childs Show. Today, our special guest is Diane Hudson. Diane is from Salt Lake City and runs a program called Advanced Behavior Change, using today's behavioral science to help people build their better futures. Diane and I will discuss how she helps families through empowering youth, teens, and family dynamics through conflict resolution and confidence building. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to the S.J. Childs Show. I'm your host, S.J. Childs, and today our special guest is Diane Hudson. Diane, hello.
Hello, SJ. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to bring you on today because you have a company which I feel provides services that are so needed in our community. And I just really want to let people know about your company and the services you provide. So, yeah, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and then, how you got into doing what you're doing now.
Okay, well, thanks very much for having me on the show. I really appreciate the opportunity. So, my company is called Advanced Behavior Change, and my focus is on working with kids and teens and their parents um, who have behavioral and emotional needs. And so I do a combination of the teaching strategies from applied behavior analysis, but also I use a lot of acceptance and commitment therapy and training to help with clients' ability to manage their emotions, to help them be more flexible in situations that are typically difficult for them. So it's actually not a traditional or typical ABA type of setting. It's kind of a little bit of a hybrid, but still really focused on helping kids meet their goals and be their best selves.
I love that. It's so important because building their confidence and conflict resolution and understanding how to move forward with issues or just regular situations in life is so important.
Right,
And I'm
right.
sure you come up against a lot of problems that have to be kind of individualized, I would assume.
Oh, very much so. Yes. So, in fact, I have a client who's he has some very clear expectations for the way he thinks conversations should end, and it's very difficult for him if somebody very well meaning says something instead of bye or goodbye. If they say see you later or see you next week, any of those are really difficult for him to accept. And so it's things like that, that don't seem to be such a big deal to the majority of the population. But it could really, really be hard for someone who is, whose thinking is a lot more black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can completely understand that coming from a family, with many individuals with autism.
Mhm.
That is so important for them in their thinking processes. Everything is number one, so literal. And number two, very rigid. And they really need practice and training and modeling of correct behaviors. Tell us about some of your programs that you do with teens in our community.
Sure, absolutely. So I have to say a little bit about me. When I started working with kids way back almost 20 years ago, I guess. Oh, yikes. I really, really loved and was totally convinced that I would only be working with like preschoolers and little kids and younger learners. And I love that population. They're just like such excited little bodies running around and learning everything like little sponges. And then I was able to work with some clients who were like 12, 13, 14, and my whole world was just like opened up. So I really, really do love working with kids who are older, particularly because, especially for my teenage clients who have autism, a lot of them may have gotten services when they were younger, but those programs they rarely serve kids who are sometimes older than 7, sometimes older than 10. And so I really wanted to try to be able to help that particular population. So
Yeah.
I see individuals, I have some individual teenage clients that I work with. I'm actually also going to be starting some girls groups, so virtual girls groups that are not specific to kids with disabilities, just kind of really focused on, some confidence building. But I also have social skills groups and am looking at expanding those into the older ages as well, even just as a chance for people to hang out with other kids that they can share their life stories.
You were talking about the girls groups, and my daughter is 9, and in this pandemic and things, the isolation has just been devastating to see her go through. She's not at 9, you're not really like on the phone with friends yet or anything like that. So in order, to keep our family safe, we've had to, like a lot of other families, no friends and things like that. But we've been trying to keep her online and, engaging with her online school peers and things like that. So I love the idea of you having these girls groups. They're so important.
Yeah, they're really something that I've kind of been a little bit hesitant to add more virtual opportunities because on the one hand, all of us are feeling fairly worn down by the pandemic and everything, so many things that we do are virtual. And I also know that for a lot of kids, when they don't, especially if they have a struggle with something, whether it's executive function, whether it's anxiety, whether it's autism, when you don't have someone else your age who understands that and you can talk to about it, you can feel even more isolated. And so my hope would be that ideally sometime we could get back to doing a lot more in person. But for now, that seems like maybe a bit of a compromise to still be able to provide the service, but also do it safely too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree with that. And I think that, you know, revolving we have to kind of just evolve rather than revolve around, new things that are happening and exploring that. What more can we do online right now is really what a lot of people are doing. They're searching for these groups and these places to go. Now, you are based in Salt Lake City, correct?
Correct, I am. So I provide services in my office in downtown Salt Lake. So there I do see some individual clients and I actually have some in-person social skills groups too. Because we can do that virtually, but there really is something a little bit different about getting, 3 other people in the room with you and trying to navigate, things in person. So I do have a couple of those. I also have some families where I go into their homes because the concerns that the parents have and that they're looking for support with are better addressed in that environment. So, for example, I've worked with a family whose child was a pretty picky eater. So I went in and we came up with a couple of different systems and a couple of tweaks to how the meal times are going, to get him to eat a little bit more food or a little bit wider variety. And I have a couple of other families that I see in home because the concerns happen there.
Yeah.
They could bring their child here, but it's like going to, well, when you take your kids to the doctor's office, they act one way when they're at home, and then you put them in a different situation and it's a whole nother story.
That is the truth. No, I think it's so important to have in-home therapies because, with my son, we've had both, at clinic and in-home therapies. And really the biggest progress that we've seen are these at home in a naturalistic setting, doing real life, types of activities that really engage him much more, just for our son individually, much more so than the at the table kind of form filled out progress kind of, he's more, he needs to move. And you really have to just find what works for you, don't you? I'm sure you recommend that to parents so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially because I'm a smaller company, and I provide a fairly focused set of services. If I were to have a parent of a 4-year-old call me, I probably would refer them somewhere else for more traditional ABA type therapy for early learners,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what they were looking for. You've got to have the right fit with your provider. As a parent, you need to be so comfortable with speaking up. Self
Mm.
advocacy is something that I really, really push with my clients. We practice it, I reinforce it, because a lot of times people with disabilities, their voices just don't get heard. And
Yeah.
so I'm really trying to change that, not just for the individual, but just the cultures that I'm in, so that everybody in the group realizes, well, it doesn't matter who says no, that means we have to respect it, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so important, self advocacy for young teens and adults with disabilities, because they really they need to know that they are unique. They're just as important and deserving as everyone else. So I love that you provide that to them. That's a really important thing. What about, this is going to catch you off guard probably because we never talked about it. What about dating practices? Do you help them with dating practices?
So I have not sauntered into that field yet. However, I know that there's a huge need in our community for that.
I think so.
I've had some adults reach out just for, adult-based services with help with employment, not help with employment, but navigating that setting, that work setting,
Mm-hmm.
dating, relationships. So most of my clients, just due to their age or their individual preferences, aren't quite there yet. If we're still hanging out and talking when they do get there, oh, I'll go there with them. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we were watching, that uh, autism and dating, I think it was. And my husband was pushing me, oh, you'd be so good at this. You should just go do this. And I was like, I think there's some other people out there that probably do just things just like this that might do a better job than I could. But I agree how important it is, and really just how important it is that we model the kind of behavior that our children and, young adults need to see, because as for us, when we're modeling how to ask for things with our son, so much better than just kind of having expectations that he will learn.
Mhm.
Isn't that the truth? And I know that you do some role play and things like that with your clients, right? And I think that that's a really important part of it, is for them to see what kind of behavior is appropriate.
Right, absolutely. And the idea behind a lot of that practice is that the more my clients practice it, the easier it is for them to pull up that skill in the moment. So I have a girl that I'm working with, and she's really her goal is to get along better with her family. So we work a lot on how she responds when she gets upset or frustrated. We've gone through scenarios. We have this kind of template, like, here with this person I can, and we run through examples so that, it's not kind of like a deer in the headlights sort of situation. It's like, oh yeah, I practiced this. I think I could try it this way, instead of feeling totally overwhelmed in this situation.
That's so, so great. I really think what you're providing is so valuable for our community. And I just want to thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate having a chance to come on and talk to you, and just, obviously you can tell from the look on my face, I would just keep talking about this stuff all day long.
I know, we really could, couldn't we? I mean, I think that I am such an advocate for mental health and resources for families, and absolutely let us know, where can we find you? Tell us all the places we can reach out to you.
Sure. So my website is advancedbehaviorchange.com. It's really long. Sorry about that. And then I also have a business page on Facebook, and then an Instagram page as well. So if you just hop onto Facebook or Instagram and type in Advanced Behavior Change, you'll find me there.
Great. And I'll make sure to have all the links down in the description so everybody can know where to reach out to you. These are really important services for our kids, for our teens, our young adults. So please take advantage of these types of things that are available to you in your communities. Thank you so much, Diane. I want to close out by maybe telling a little bit of a funny story. So I hope that you have one prepared, because I forgot to tell you to have one prepared. But hopefully on the fly you can think of something. And yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I think it's a funny story in the sense that it was unexpected, but it's also super, super sweet too. There was a little boy that I had been working with since he was about 3. And so at that point, he was like 6 years old. So I'd known him for 3 years. And my birthday's in the middle of summer. And if anybody else is a summer birthday, like, as a kid, that's the worst, right? So, like, nobody notices, no party, no cake. So I've decided I actually make the entire month, my birth month is like the whole month is a party. It's how I've compensated, I guess. Anyway, so this little guy, we were at the clinic, and his therapist had said, "Oh, it's Miss Diane's birthday today." And he looks at me and he goes, "Well, I hope you have a great day," and just walked off down the hallway. And I was like, you know what? That was not bad. That was good.
Success. I love that. It's always so surprising when these kids, are practicing and practicing, and you don't see something, and then it comes out naturally. Right. And it's like, yes, it's working. I absolutely get that. I completely love that. I will tell you, the other day, my husband and I were on YouTube, and on our just personal page, which sometimes our son uploads his own videos and we don't know. And we get on there, and there's a video of him, and he's 11. And it's a video of him talking about how he is going to upload, download, and all of these things, his own YouTube video, so that his human characteristics can be taken down. Basically, I can't even talk as smart as he is. Like, I should have him on the show instead. But it is the funniest thing. And like you just said, he doesn't ever talk like that. And then here he is. And he's just breaking it down. And he is like, it's not the matter of the consideration that I'm doing this, but it's, the focus of what's going to happen in the end. And it was just this scientific little professor thought out a video that he made. So kids.
Oh my goodness. Yes. He sounds like a total blast.
He is hilarious. So yeah, we are learning things from him every single day. He teaches us something new because you can't keep up with them. Well, thank you so much, Diane. It was such a pleasure to talk to you today. And yeah, like I said, all of the links for her wonderful services will be down in the description. And thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, sounds great, SJ. Thanks. Take care.
Kind of guy that keeps you warm at night when you are cold. I'll grab some blankets from my bed, wrap them around your chest, and I'll pull you close. We'll flip some channels to find out there's nothing on right now to ease your mind. Sit back, relax, there is no rush, no need to speed things up. All we have is time to think about the future, forget about the past. Time to figure out a way to make this moment last. To make this moment last. To make this moment last. The kind of love that we've been dreaming of when we sleep at night. We'll get a little house to live in, have a couple kids, and we'll sleep tight. 'Cause baby, all we really need are just a couple things to stay alive, and everything else in between. Just trust my heart, you'll see we're slowly coming. Time to think about the future, forget about the past. Time to figure out a way to make this moment last. To make this moment last. To make this moment last. Sunrises, sunsets, I won't let you forget that I need you. Spring comes as spring goes, forever you will know that I love you. Sunrises, sunsets, I won't let you forget that I need you. Spring comes as spring goes, forever you will know that I love you.